Okay, so we are done with analyzing the 4-hour time frame. And you notice that on our list of confluences, we've added it as 4-hour bullish, which is 10%. So this is, we have now 10%, 10%, 10%. So let's assume why are we putting the bullish as 10% on the monthly? Because the monthly nowadays, for what I've seen, the videos I've seen is that they don't use the monthly time frame, because the monthly time frame is just a huge candlestick at once. So you want where you can easily get swing highs and swing lows. That's why you start with the weekly, daily for to analyze. So monthlies just give us the overall direction. So now with the list of conferences that I have the monthly, weekly, daily for us. So now I can see my trend is bullish, 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 bullish. So overall is bullish. And then I have two consecutive time frames in sync. So let's say if I had the weekly as bullish, the daily as bearish, then the 4 as bullish, then you do not take the trade there. There you do not take the trade. Reason is we are saying, let's say if this was maybe with daily is bearish, then so bullish, bearish, bullish. That means that here on your list of conferences you will say no to consecutive time frames in sync, so that means you do not take that trade. That's no trade. So at that moment I just decide to leave the trade. So that's it. My analysis is done and there's no trade. But since now we have the list of confluences, we have two consecutive time frames, and you can take the trade. So let's say the 4 hours bearish. Let's say this was also bearish. And the daily is bearish, the weekly is bullish, then you can take the trade. So on your list of conferences, you will see two consecutive time frames in sync, thus take the trade. So I'll delete it, then I'll take the trade. Reason is I have at least two time frames in sync. So if you do not have two time frames in sync, then do not take the trade, because that's at least I get this shit from YouTube videos. Second of all, I'm not an experienced trader, so whatever the profitable guys are doing is what I'm doing. So I think I'm trying to bet on my luck. So that's so far that's what I know. But since now we have time frames bullish, and then since you have the bearish, so that means you remove the percentage here. Since when you're counting your percentage rate, you'll be counting the daily 10% for a 10%, then add down, you say high time from analysis, then which is sales. Since the 4 is bullish and the daily is bearish. But now since we have all bullish, so we say that's buy. So we already have everything is showing us buy. So why would we sell? It's like we're setting ourselves for failure. So why would we buy? Why would we sell? Everything is telling us buy. So now the next thing is you have bullish. Remember, this list is just reminders for what we have. Is that if we keep everything in our minds, remember we're going to analyze like 10 pairs, and then we get at least 5 pairs or 2 pairs that we can trade. Remember, we have to do everything the night before, all the session before, all in the Asian sessions. That when it comes to London and New York, we just execute our trade. So that's the thing. So you have to have this list, but you won't be able to keep everything in your mind. Imagine you've analyzed around 10 pairs or 8 pairs for the day. You want to choose out the 4 pairs or the 3 pairs you're going to trade, or the 1 pair you're going to trade. So you cannot keep everything. So now we have the 3 times in sync. So weekly, daily, 4 they're all telling us bullish, and the monthly is telling us bullish. So we are looking for buyers now. Now for the area of interest, which is number 4, remember I said the area of interest is the same as the support and resistance. It's also the same as demand and supply, same as order blocks. So everything, they're just different books that people are using to make money. They are just selling the same concepts. So if you use a formula in Abacus, which is a mathematics books in Abacus, same formula you'll find it in another mathematics books. So you can use all those formulas to pass. Yeah, so you're using just what we know, area of interest. AOI is area of interest. So let's say, so to identify our area of interest, we identify it on the higher time frames. Reason is the higher time frames support and all areas of interest are more respected compared to the lower time frames. So we can so we use the two time frames, which is the weekly and the daily, to analyze our area of interest. Yeah. So when we are analyzing our area of interest, it's not that or we're going to draw a single line whereby the candle will touch. No, we are looking at the whole body, or the body of the candlestick touching. We are not looking at the trail. So let's say the wicks, if we are to zoom in, so you see this candlestick. So this is the from here to here. So you can see this is a candle wick. This is the wick for the candle. That's the wick. So, and then from here to down, that is the body. And again from here to down here, you can see that wick there. That's the, so we are interested in the body of the candlestick touching. You are not only interested in the wick. Yeah. So before, I used to draw my support and resistance with only the wicks touching, but now we are looking at the whole body of the candle touching. We are not looking at only the wicks. So this is how we draw our area of interest. So now, since you say you cannot remember everything, you have to go to your list of conflicts. So the weekly is bearish, daily is bearish, 4 hour is bearish, bullish. So now what we have to do here is we go to the line charts. Now on the daily, since we want to be intraday traders or swing traders, so the moment you look at this line here, and then also look at this line. So the moment, let's say if this line here, or the high goes below this line, yeah, if it goes below this line, it has now turned bearish. And if it goes up, further up, it is going to be bullish. But before it goes up, it will have to turn here like this, then it goes up. Yeah. So remember, it's how the system plays this thing. So for this one to come, it first went here, and then you see something like this. It a little bit tried to turn. I think it was a little bit of support, then it went up. Now it has come back to get momentum. Now it's going up, so it will come back here to get momentum and go up. So it's like why the market does is like the market is trying to fill up all those imbalances, and two, it is trying to get support and resistance. So you can use, let's say you're in a bed, you can use the bed to stand up. So the market came from here to here, so there's a bed here, it is using the bed to maybe to jump up to here, and then it will find another bed to jump up, then go up. So let's say it wants to go down. So let's say it is under the bed. So let's say you're hiding under the bed. The moment you try to jump up, let's say here, here, the moment you try to jump up, it will bring you down. And then the more you try to jump up, it will bring you down still. So it's the same concept, support and resistance. It's the best example I could give you. Yeah, okay, let's look at a roof. You're trying to jump above the roof. Maybe you are taller, you try to jump above the roof. So you jump, it hits you back, you jump, it hits you back, that is the resistance. Maybe you're on the floor, you're trying to jump, you can't go below the floor, so it will push you up. So that is the thing. So you're also looking at from here, you're looking at the current situation of the market. So from here to here, so this was the high low, this is the higher high. Yeah. So the moment this curve here, or this chart, comes and goes below this, it has now turned bearish. So it's here, and then it's here. So the moment it goes below this, it has turned bearish. Yeah. For it to go bullish, it has to find a bed to step onto, then it goes up. So we do not have to immediately start our buys from here. Yeah. So it has to find a bed, or maybe a floor to step on. It gains momentum so that it can push itself to the upwards. Remember, we are not buying from here, yeah, unless otherwise, but we are not buying from here. If we find that this is our area of interest and it's here, then maybe we can buy, but we have to wait for a confirmation to show us that this is our actual bid. This is where the market is going to step on from to get momentum. But let's say if the market shifts and then it goes below here, then that means the market has now turned bearish. So we are now going to look at sells because the market has turned bearish. And since we haven't done an analysis for that, we'll just step out of the trade the moment it goes below this. So meaning our area of interest is going to be within this. Yeah? We are going to look at areas of interest within this candle here. Yeah? This last leg, this or let's say this is a wider area of interest. This is what we are looking at. So if I'm to go to the candle, to the candles that we are looking at, these areas of interest here. This is our big area of interest. Now inside that big area of interest, we have now to go and find the small areas of interest, all the bed we have to step onto, because right now the curve cannot go all the way here. If you're looking for buys, cannot go all the way here to look for another buy, maybe, but that's not the case. It cannot go all the way there. So it has to find somewhere here in the middle to find a bed to step onto, or even this can be a bed itself where it steps onto. So you just have to find the areas of interest. Yeah, but also it can go here to find its bed here. But if the moment it goes below here, then that means it's going to turn bearish. So either here, 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 here. So the job for you is to find the areas of interest or the bed where that market is going to step onto. Yeah. So okay, since we found our area of interest, now we narrow down. So we're finding at least for our area of interest, we have to find at least 3 to 5 points, touch points, 3 to 6, 3 to 7, whatever. As long as they're above 3, that is a good bid for us to make it our support. Well, yeah, that's a good bid for us. So that's a good floor. Yeah. So now we're going to go narrow down. Remember, we are focusing on this area, only the last leg. That's where our focus is. Anything below, we're not interested. Okay, so we go down, we're trying to find 4, we're trying to find 3 and above points. Yeah. We are looking at where the bodies of the candles touch the bed. So let's move on to here. Is there anything touching? No. Yeah, you can see right here there's something touching. Yeah, there's something touching here, but are we looking at 3? Let's see, we're going to see it. Let's first start from down. Yep, down here. You can see this is one touch. So this is the second touch is here. Remember, we are looking at where the bodies touch the support level, and then we are looking at another one to getting the job. We are looking at this, the third one. Let's see. Yeah, those are 3. So that's our bid, but that's our support. But for us to formulate a clean support level, we have to go and measure. So because the area of support has to be, there's this, I said the area of support has to be less than 60 pips. So this area of support less than 60 pips. Let's measure and see. So we measure from here and then we go down. So this is negative 24 pips, which is a little bit good for us. Yeah. So this thing is a little bit crazy. No matter how you try to do the thing like this, or you try to zoom in or whatever, and then you still measure, it will still show you negative 21 pips. This is what we consider the pips. So the support or the resistance level has to be less than 60%.